to start this meeting at 7 after 3. Councilman Crittenden, as they do the blessing.
Father, coming to you again, Lord, thank you for this day. We're going to do a little more business for the Cherokee people. Just go hand in hand with us, and we'll be sure to thank you for all things good. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Safety, roll call.
Yes, sir. David Walkenstick. Brian Warner.
Honey.
Bill England.
Honey.
Keith Austin.
Here.
Harley Buzzard. Joe Bird.
Honey.
Sean Crittenden.
Honey.
Mike Dobbins.
Here.
Frankie Hargis.
Present.
Wanda Hatfield. Rex Jordan.
Here.
Dick White.
Here.
Mike Shambaugh.
Here.
Barry Bakershaw.
Honey.
Leo Smith.
Here.
Janice Taylor.
Here.
Victoria Vasquez.
Honey.
We do a quorum.
All right, thanks, Shelley. All right, need to hear a motion to approve the minutes of August 15, 2017.
So moved.
Move, second, discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Not that Miss Diane, she's like, I wonder what he's going to say. Diane Kelly, Career Services.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the council committee. Report that our Job Corps numbers are down due to some zero tolerance matters over at the center. Sometimes when you have problems, you have to send those little kids home. Yeah, those little rascals.
Yeah.
But anyway, Jay says they should be back up within the next 2 to 3 weeks. We've got some recruitment efforts going on. We're going to be visiting the Arkansas, Oklahoma Free State Fair at Fort Smith starting the 22nd through the 1st of October. And then we're also going to have a booth at the Tulsa State Fair starting the 28th and running through October the 8th. We had a staff meeting Friday and got everything lined out. We've got Job Corps recruitment staff that are going to be up there manning the booth, not only in the daytime but in the evening. So we're going to have staggered shifts, and then we're also going to have staff from our Taro operations there that's going to be recruiting Indian-owned businesses. Cherokee Career Connections, Larry Daugherty and his staff are going to be working on the job bank, so that if there are people that are coming through, or if they know of anyone that's interested in getting certified, or if there's somebody that's interested in coming back to Oklahoma, especially if you live in Texas or if you live in Florida and you're wanting to relocate, well, you happen to be at the fair or you have relatives, we're going to try to get their resumes so that we can help recruit for some of these jobs that are going to come available here in the next few years, as well as some of the external businesses that we're working with. We've got several openings in several of these businesses that we're working with out here in the field externally. They're needing people that can weld. They're wanting people that can do metal work. So there's a lot of different types of jobs that we're working with that there is a need of. We've also got staff that are going to be recruiting for the GED as well as some other things that we're doing, but we'll have staff out there. So we'd invite you to come by if you go to either one of the two fairs, to come by the booth. We don't know exactly what number we're going to be or exactly where we're going to be located, but we'll be at the fairs. We have GED graduation this Thursday night, September the 14th at 6:30 at Northeastern State University in the Herb Roselle Ballroom. It's at 6:30. This is the first year that we've had over 100 graduates. Cherokee graduates. Landra and her staff have worked hard. Every week they were giving us a total of the number of GED graduates that are going to pass their test. And we think that's a very high number for our students. We will have a ceremony. They will have their caps and gowns, and then we have dinner following. So we'd invite all of y'all to come up if you can. Some of your constituents will be graduating. And
That's only that time, Dan.
it's at 6:30 at Northeastern State at the ballroom. Glad to have you there, and we'll acknowledge you if you show up. Chief Baker will be our keynote speaker this year. We are hosting the State Job Corps School Board. Mr. Don Lucas, who just retired, is going to stay on as our school superintendent. And we've got 2 new Job Corps directors at Tulsa and Guthrie, so we're trying to make sure that we keep our accreditation. So we're meeting with them. I met with them last week when I was in Tulsa, so that we can make sure that we keep that accreditation. George and Jan Grogan and the counselors are busy taking vocational training applications. That's this time of the year in the fall semesters for a lot of our vocational programs. So they're pretty busy taking applications. The Tarot Outreach Grants Compliance and NAVTEP program, they've started their move to their new building. They started packing this morning and they'll start moving tomorrow to the new location. As soon as we get everything settled, we'll try to have an open house up there so that everybody will know where the offices are located. We have a construction fair this Wednesday from 11 to 6 at the ballroom. It's Flint Co. Cooper Construction, and it's for the new facility. Are there any questions?
I have one.
Yes, Councilwoman Shaw.
Yes, thank you. Is it possible, Diane, that you can send us information about those jobs that will be available to Wanda and to me? We're headed down into Texas, and we're both trying to keep in touch with our constituents in Texas as well as Florida. And I know that information would be useful for us to pass on to those Cherokees. We'd
Be glad to. Be glad to.
Thank you.
When are you guys planning to leave?
Saturday.
Friday.
Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
We won't meet in Houston.
Okay. I'll be
Yeah.
glad to. I'll try to get it to you before you do.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Councilwoman
I
Taylor.
just have a comment. Some of us did a tour of the Heritage Center this afternoon or this morning and got to see the ramps that the building trades did, and they're awesome, and that's a great project, and I appreciate you stepping up to get that done.
Thank you. That was a project that came about as a result of Brenda Fitzgerald and the Vocational Rehabilitation Program and our Tarot office, buildings trades. So it was a collaborative effort. And I know Dr. Gord was very pleased to
Figured it out.
have it.
Thank you.
But
That's all.
Yes, Councilwoman Shaw.
yes, I just wanted to share, I love the stories that you shared here about the workers here and how they, the partnership on the dislocated worker grant program, as well as the one on Melinda Bearpaw, and what that meant. I think that's lovely that you profiled them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. One of the things that we're trying to do is to spotlight our participants more this next year so that people can see exactly what we're doing in terms of either vocational training or the jobs that they're getting or the people that are coming out of reentry or rehab. Manufacturing month is coming up in October, and we will be in a chili cook-off again up in Pryor. And we will also have a bunch of events going on. We'll be taking some things out to some of the businesses and trying to get some pictures. And we'll let you know what business we're in a specific area. Who knows, EO, we might be down there in Vian, you never know. But we'll let you know if you want to come and jump in the picture with us.
Chief Burke.
I may want to help work the booth there at the Fort Smith, Oklahoma Fair.
All right.
Anyway,
I do too.
yeah, me and EO may handle that.
Okay. Great. I'll tell John Overacker. He's in charge of that one.
Well, let me reconsider that.
He's watching the video right now.
Yeah, well, that's all right. John, I want to reconsider that. It was a go till I heard that. But anyway, on the building trades, what all do we have as of today for our building trades? And I was wondering why we don't have heavy equipment training. Did we ever have that at one time?
Yes, we did. Right before they actually started the dirt work at the plaza, we had heavy equipment going on through Indian Capital Technology here in Tahlequah. We had, I think, 3 classes that went on when they were actually moving the dirt up there.
Is it a cost factor? Is it just something we didn't have a whole lot of participation?
Well, you have to have jobs for them when they come out of that, and it was not one that we actually had a lot of jobs for, so we did it as a result of the work that we were doing, and some of the guys got jobs, not all of them.
Okay.
And then we try to do trades that are where we know that there's going to be a job for them afterwards, if it's in with welding, like this business that we worked with last week in Tulsa. They're actually, the groundbreaking was last week that we'd worked on for about a year, and they're not actually going to start recruiting until next year. So that gives us a whole year to start getting ready for identifying welders or people that can work with metal work, and they're getting the job descriptions for us. So those are the areas that we want to train people in, just like for the clinic, that we're building here in Tahlequah. We're going to want to sit down with them and find out about the jobs that are going to be available so that we can make sure that we've got those people in the pipeline so that when it opens, we have people that we can refer.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anyone else have any questions? Good report, Diane.
Thank
Keep
you.
up the good work.
Thank you.
All right, see. Next, Executive Director's Report from Education, Mr. Ron Etheridge.
Good afternoon. Diane, hard to follow. I said that last time. I'll say it about every time. She just one of those that she was kind of a mentor of mine when I was in school, a couple years ahead of me. She won't pay attention to that, but anyway, and they had their 50th reunion this year. I'm not letting you know her age or anything like that, but mine's coming up here in a couple years. Oh, I was your husband, wasn't it?
Okay.
Husband had the 50th this year.
My husband has.
Oh, okay. No, we got a few things going on. We just recently, and you're aware of this, new queen, I say queen, Miss Cherokee, I call them queens as well, was elected at Madison Whitekiller from the Burgess area. She's a freshman at Northeastern. And then we had Daniel Pigeon, who is right now a senior at Sequoia. She's elected Junior Miss Cherokee. That just recently happened. So anyway, they're getting ready to or have taken over, and you're aware of this, but I don't think it's been announced in this meeting. So just doing that. Roy Boney just got back from Northwest, the state of Washington, where he was nominated by Chief and was selected and recognized as American 40 Under 40 Award. So we're proud of Roy, manager of our language department, and does a real good job there. We've hired Frances Head to do some contract work with the STEM program. And anyway, she is excellent in all fields of science. She told me the only area that she really couldn't claim to be able to teach would be with physics, but everything else she feels very confident in, K through 12. And right now we're trying to get her introduced to all 14 counties, where if you feel like that you have a need in education in the science area, you can bring her in, and she'll come in and teach lessons in maybe areas that, what's happened here in education a little bit is some of the upper level courses are not necessarily being taught because of their schools or the lack of funding statewide and lack of state aid. They're just basically teaching the core subject areas that they're required to teach. So if you want to advance beyond that, Frances is definitely one that can help you. And we're getting that information out to your administrators in your respective areas. We had her down here. We had a TOSS meeting with, Janice, you were here that day. I think Mike was walking the hall that day doing something. But anyway, I come in contact with some of you there, and anyway, we're going to get her name out. She can help you. So I wanted to make mention of that. Under our new federal guidelines, which started last spring under Title VI, which is Indian Ed, we required by state and federal to kind of get out with the schools in our communities, and under it's called ESSA, which is Every Student Succeeds Act. We're required to get out and kind of collaborate with the respective school districts on their title programs. And so we start this tomorrow. Tomorrow there'll be 4 of us from education go to Kansas, Oklahoma, and we'll visit with the group kind of in the northeast quadrant of the 14 county area. The following Thursday of this week, we go to Salisaw and going to visit with that group, and that's a 1:30 meeting at their middle school. And then Monday of next week, we go to Pryor and hit those from the northwest, and we'll be there at 4 o'clock. And then Tuesday at 3 o'clock, we'll go here in Tahlequah and meet with those that have not been a part of that. So feel free to come by any of those. And really, it's just a collaboration Cherokee Nation and the respective schools. And so they're all required to be there, and all required, we're to look at their title programs and you know, let them know, hey, we feel like everything's, you know, we're not there to hinder what they're doing. We're just there to kind of, once again, talk about it. And so that will happen. Council, you remember approving a allocation for all the 107 schools that received MBT money, and we approved giving those schools $4,150. So in the very near future, this week, next week, they'll be mailed a check. All schools can use that, as you well know. And so those 107 that received motor vehicle tag money last year will get that check. So that's in, like I said, in the very near future. We're working with the Treasurer's Office right now and getting that taken care of. The JOM schools, they have all been paid their allocation for this year. So anyway, I'm sure there's other things. I've got others in education behind me that's going to speak on their behalf. And so, are there any questions for me?
Yes, Councilwoman Shaw?
Yes. Mr. Etheridge, I feel like we have a fiduciary responsibility to find out what exactly happened on the Cherokee Promise program. I mean, at what point were you made aware that the money wasn't going to be there? I mean, how did this trickle down to where, I mean, you have to come and present the fact that, you know, they had 2 weeks' notice that some of them perhaps weren't going to get the funding? I mean, where did that trickle down effect come from? And when were you made aware of it?
Well, I'm telling you, I've done put that to bed. I really, it's behind me, and I'm glad it is behind me. And I'll be happy to talk with you privately sometime. But I don't even know. I'd have. You caught me off guard here because I don't even think about that. I prepared to come in here to talk about this, and I didn't prepare to come in here to talk about
Well,
promise.
I don't think it was
which I
ever-
feel like we've got it corrected and going good right now.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I was wanting to make sure that we have things in place, alarms in place, where that cannot happen to our students again.
Yeah, I understand, and believe me, we'll try. I feel the same way you do, and I want to make sure alarms are in place where we don't let it happen again.
Well, I look forward to that conversation.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Yes,
Can you give
Councilman
me a
Smith?
date on when you're gonna be in Southall again?
Do what now?
When you gonna be in Southall?
When?
That day?
Thursday.
This coming Thursday?
Thursday at 1:30.
Thank you.
Yes, Councilman Shambaugh?
What time at Kansas?
Kansas tomorrow morning at 9:30. Anything else?
Question. Just a reminder, after the community service meeting, we're gonna have our meeting over the concurrent enrollment at 4:30. So you guys, that's on that. And Councilwoman Shaw, we would, after we get this taken care of, I would like to form another work group to talk about this Cherokee Promise, have a work group to talk about how we can improve that program and maybe get a few of you guys on there to address those first generational Cherokee college students and come up with ways. So that's on our agenda, our radar. So we'll deal with that later on, Ron, but anyways.
Okay, you're gonna meet 4:30 today with this committee?
Yes, with the, about the concurrent enrollment.
Okay.
Yeah, so, good report, Ron.
Okay, thank you.
Next, moving down to Head Start, Ms. Verna Thompson.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
I invited my colleagues with me again, Barbara and Sandra, because I wanted to take just a minute to brief you on the video that they were a part of, a national video that's going to be used as a training tool. They actually did it at the Kenwood site in Salina, and that's where Barbara and Sandra started their Head Start careers 35 years ago. So they were the best candidates to go out there with them. So y'all go ahead and tell them that.
Good afternoon. We had a film crew, 3 people, and then the lady that we were escorting from 0 to 3.
Ma'am, hey, would you mind coming up to the
Oh,
front?
I'm
so
sorry.
we hear-
The lady that we were escorting was there she had a whole list of items that she was looking for to see what the children were doing, and there were certain things that they were looking for because they want to use these films as a training tool. We went to one early Head Start, and they filmed for approximately 2 hours, just of everything that the teachers were doing, what the teachers' children were doing, looking for certain things. One of the things was there was a baby in the infant toddler, and they wanted to see the baby laying on the floor, reaching for their feet, and the staff interacting and talking with them, but yet letting the baby do their own thing. It was quite interesting for us to watch, to see what they were filming. They had one photographer that was a still camera, and there were several things listed on the list they either videoed or wanted an actual picture of. And I think it turned out really well. And then we went from there and we took the camera crew to Kenwood. And I'll let Sandra talk about Kenwood.
Oh, so you want to guide it one? It was just really interesting to know, like Verna said, that's where we started, and then they were filming, but I didn't want to be a part of the filming myself. But, you know, when they walked in, to see all these children, now they were the 3 and 4-year-olds at this time at Kenwood. The children just continued on with their routine, except there were like maybe 2, 3 of them kept saying, "We have visitors again," you know. So it's good that they're used to visitors, and so anytime you all have a chance, maybe, you know, y'all could stop by and visit with them. But the teachers continued on doing the routine, and the children were just interacting, and it was just amazing, really, to hear the teachers teaching basic words in Cherokee. It wasn't just a setup, because that's what we encourage our teachers to do, is to teach our children basic words in Cherokee. And then when they went outside, they were videotaping every little move, like even playing with the ball, kicking the ball. So we're really looking forward to watching these videos whenever we get to go to the national conference and see, and just to say, hey, that's us, that's Cherokee Nation right there. So we really were glad that we were part of that.
One of the things that they asked was that we have an elder there in Kenwood, and they wanted to speak to them about how they felt about the importance of Head Start there in the Kenwood community, and what the importance of teaching the culture and the language to the children to keep it going. Kenwood is predominantly Cherokee, and so they were quite excited to be there and to get someone to talk to. And we had an elder there that spoke with them for about 15 minutes on the importance of teaching the culture and language and keeping it alive for the community. Any questions?
Any questions?
So if there's a sequel to Dances with Wolves, Sandra doesn't.
We got it. We asked if we would get a copy of the videos, and the lady that we were speaking with was not sure if they would release those or not, but she said if there's any possibility, she will ask and see if we can get copies of the videos, because we feel it'd be a really good training tool for us also.
All right.
Thank
Good
you.
report.
The sequel's going to be the next 35 years.
Verna, you might tell how long your staff has been with you, these two here.
Oh, 35 years.
35 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that.
I've been with them for 34. But the next biggest highlight this month is that, first let me backtrack and say that this video, we were one of 2 Native American programs selected in the country to video, so we're really honored about that. The second thing that we have been selected for nationally is to host a national training event October 3rd here at the Children's Village Conference Room. So we'll have 50 people there from across the country in the early childhood field to come and do practice-based training with us. And the other piece of news is kind of a bittersweet. I know all the new council members took a tour. I think Diane probably drove them through the Children's Village, I hope. So you all noticed our beautiful trees up there that were put there when the circle was built 50 or 60 years ago. I know Chief Baker was really involved in it at a young age in the circle. So those trees have a great meaning to us. I'm just a tree person anyway, and I knew I was going to talk to you all about my trees, so I wore my tree necklace today. I think I'll take sick leave when they come down. But we did get funding to take 23 trees down around the circle because they have invaded the infrastructure, and we just constantly had plumbing issues, and that was the only solution because our guys dug up some roots, and some of the roots are that big into the pipes. So one way to remedy that is to take away the trees. So on the outside, street side, all of those trees will be gone. And they'll be gone before you all come visit us in November. But anyway, that's our report this month. Thank you. If you have any questions.
Are we still number one?
We are. We're maintaining.
You're number one in my heart, Vernon.
Thank you.
Yes, Councilman Buzzard?
Who made the decision to take the trees down?
It was really a huge group consensus because they took pictures. I'm speaking out of my field, but they took a camera and went to the root system and saw just how invasive. Bill can probably talk about that more than anybody. It's really the only way to go. Trust me, or I'll show what
They didn't give us an alternative to move those lateral lines to another location?
Well, I think they'll still have to do that, even with those root systems being so entwined.
Well, I like trees too, and it takes a long time to build to
Yeah.
grow those trees. I'm just wondering if there's not an alternate decision to that, so. Whatever, you know, there's lagoons that can be built to put all the waste into. You can put a steel line where tree roots can't get into them, so.
If I can
I'm
speak
wondering who engineered it, do you know that?
Barb, do you remember his name in the meeting with us? No, I'm sorry. I hate to throw a name out there.
Okay, well, find out. I'd be interested to talk to who engineered it.
Okay.
Those trees take years to grow.
Oh, yeah, they're at least 60
And
years
you're
old.
just gonna take the beautification away from those grounds up there.
They are beautiful, but they are also a nuisance because we've had several folks fall on those gumballs. And those gumballs are they're unforgiving.
Those type of trees.
They're not the best trees. They're beautiful, but they're not the best. That's
Still, you know, I hate to see trees go, and if there's other alternates.
Well, speaking for Barbara and Sandra, we really are still advocating for a new facility up there on the hill, but this is the next best thing to at least fixing the infrastructure as it is. We outgrew that years ago. Any other
Those
questions?
trees, I may not argue so much about those. But there's a purpose for all trees out there.
I'm with you.
Okay, all right, I'm fair.
We've had a few FMLA claims on those trees.
Okay.
Are we gonna get the firewood burning?
You know, that would be the next best solution is to make use of them. I don't know. But
Or you could just carve some statues up there, all the stumps.
we've done that too.
Yeah. We put one of you up there. Yeah.
One more story about the trees. There in Delaware County, at our Delaware County Courthouse, this happened way, and I forget what year it was, I was just a younger person at that time, they had sycamore trees that were that big around. It was beautification throughout the United States, and they came in and they cut every one of those trees down.
Oh.
Now they've replanted sycamore trees again, so it kind of defeated the purpose, I think, so. But anyway, that's just my.
I don't think it's going to affect, maybe speaking out of turn, the ones inside the playground, inside the circle, because the water lines are on the front side.
I see.
And the sewer lines are on the inside.
I'm sure whoever engineered it
Well,
probably took that into consideration.
yeah, we fought it tooth and nail, but they aren't the best trees.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Your report, Bernie. Now, Superintendent, Sequoia Schools, Leroy Qualls. Hey, Coach.
Yes.
You know anything about gumball trees?
Sweet gum.
Sweet gum.
That's what kind they are. My dad was a lumberjack. And I was a little helper at one time. Good afternoon, everyone. It was a good lesson on trees. I enjoyed that. I enjoy trees myself. That initial report I sent out, I'm gonna have to renege on. We had a smooth start to school, but then we also had a water line that burst, and we had a sewer line that stopped up. So one dorm did without hot water for a day or two. They got repaired pretty quickly, and hopefully the sewer line's repaired because we have a JV game at home tomorrow night, and the sewer stoppage was about 10 foot from our concession stand. Anyway, but it has been, as far as classes and concurrent enrollment, it's been a record concurrent enrollment for us. 64 kids. I saw a report that I did in late 2011 or 12. We had 28. So you can kind of see how our numbers have grown there. We passed the initial portion of the state accreditation. Donald Gray, our RAO, came by, and both immersion and high school up to this point are doing well without any deficiencies. And now on to some of the events. Sequoia cross country historically has been the top 3 or 4 in the state for a long time. And Coach Horse Chief shared with me this may be his best group of kids. Boys and girls. They won, both won at Riverside last Saturday. They'll compete at Bacon this Friday, and that's about as close as they'll run. We have our own event the 26th on a Saturday, Lamont Frazier relays. If you like cross country, that would be a good one to come to because we have a lot of teams that come in. Fayetteville typically comes, 7A school from Arkansas. Football's doing well, 2-0 at this point. Defeated Roland 48-24 last Friday night. And currently ranked number 9 in 3A. Although we've got the Wolverines coming to town Friday night, and I don't know how that's going to come out. I don't make any predictions. But I'll safely say it'll be a good ball game and it'll be well attended. Volleyball team beat Wagner in straight sets last Thursday evening. They're currently 14-6 and ranked number 12. And they go to Westville to play tomorrow evening. Our fast pitch softball team played Stillwell, won that 8-0 last Thursday. They're 22-6 and currently ranked number 3 in Oklahoma. And this is kind of a sleeper team for us. We've been in the finals and the semifinals almost every year in fast pitch. This is a team that, you know, takes a little luck to get to the state tournament. They may not make it, but they're well balanced and they may surprise us. I'm anxiously awaiting to see how we come out there. They are at Wilburton today, and they'll be hosting a tournament this Thursday and this Saturday. The Pride of Sequoia marching band, I saw them Saturday in the parade. It was a great parade. You guys looked great. I felt like our band did a super job there, and they come in third in that competition. I was kind of disappointed they didn't finish ahead of Northeastern, but I thought that our kids did a super job, and they looked really good. Cheer competition will be this Saturday at Union High School in Tulsa. It'll be the regional competition, and a couple of years ago we had our first cheer team make the state tournament ever, and we've got a good group of kids, and they're really excited and enthusiastic about what they're doing, and they show up and support all events. And I was surprised to see the band so refreshed after watching them in Tulsa the night before. All the kids made it in and did a good job of marching Saturday morning. The one last tidbit here on that 13th year, Mr. Buzzard, that I shared with you for the Career Tech kids, that ends at the end of the first semester of that 13th year. So they've got that period of time to finish whatever they're doing.
It ends.
Well, it's still going. They can still do the 13th year. They got one semester to finish up their certification. After that, they pay for it on their own. So I wanted to clarify that, and that was from a couple of meetings back, but that's pretty much all I have in my supplemental report.
Mr. Qualls? He'll say he's not coming up to the Vian game if there's no bathrooms. Are we gonna have any bathrooms Friday night?
Well, most of you know that we have to rent porta potties on the visitor side, and that's embarrassing. Every year, if we host a playoff game, that's what we have there. The home side looks great, and unfortunately, very lacking on the visitor side. And I'm talking from the stands. It's hard for the people to see from those bleachers. And that building is about 98 years old, if that tells you anything. I was telling a story the other day, a couple of years ago, when the construction on that home side was taking place. I was in the lift on the other side. We did not have a press box, so I was up in the lift where I could see good, and we had a grease fire break out over there with our people cooking hamburgers, and the smoke just engulfed that concession, and there was opposing coaches up on the roof of there trying to video the game, and I had to call my AD and ask him to get those guys off because that become a dangerous situation. But it was kind of humorous, but again, it was not safe. So, well, I'm glad you pointed that out.
Bruce and our resource committee said that the bathrooms at the powwow grounds cost about $40,000 to construct, and those have quite a bit of room in it. Of course, it'll add to the square footage of the campus. We put those in the same location, but something that's on Bruce's radar. We need to keep visiting about.
That's good news, because some of you know our gen fund just barely covers our teacher salaries and their fringe.
Is that piece of property, is that tribal land or BIE?
It's BIE.
Okay,
BIE.
so we still need to get that approval.
Is the property across the road where the baseball field is that tribal or BIA?
That's BIA.
Is it?
I can see if I can help speed the process up if we have resources. You know, without money, I know it's not going to move anywhere.
Something that's considered. The other thing, I think Councilman Crittenden brought it up. There's some black stuff coming out of the new gym up top there. I wonder if you could get Larry Masters, get some of his people to go out there, maybe power wash it to clean up the appearance. Is that correct, Councilman?
Well, it's just, I think like all places on the north side, you know, you'll always
The
collect
weather.
that. Yeah, and I just drove by it a couple of times, and it'd probably be power wash, make it look better.
Where is it, exactly where is it at?
Just at the front of the gym when you walk
Okay.
in. Just,
Absolutely, I'm glad you brought that up, because we look for things at the end of the school year every year to power wash and get clean.
Any other questions for Mr. Qualls? Saying that, just good luck to the Indians this Friday night. Hope you guys have a good game.
It'll be a good game. Thank you.
All right. There's no new old business. There's no new business. Next meeting is going to be October 23rd. That can be here or go home. It'll be here.
Here. Just resources will be there.
All right. So, motion to adjourn. Second discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.